All right. Oh, wow. Look at the camera. I'm having a series of mishaps today, guys. I'm telling you what, my camera has decided hold on a second. When I got here, that goes there. Hold on one second. This is just a mess. They decided to upgrade themselves. There we go. The cameras had a little firmware upgrade. I pressed a button and they both did their thing, and it took 10 minutes to get them in, and settings got all undone, and oh my God. Anyway, here we are. Good morning, welcome. Sorry for the lateness again. Coffee and Crafts with John. We can go to 9 o'clock today though, so that's good. And I appreciate you waiting me out to get here. So, a couple things to go over today. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. It's going to be kind of a lot of points to ponder for you today, I hope. So, let's get right into it here. And again, reminder. And Charlie's here. Charlie. How you doing, baby? Good to see you. Good to see you. Pan out and say, yeah, like a Panamanian person. That's funny. This might be right up your alley, Charlie. We got a cruise coming up. We got a cruise coming up in April. April 28th is a week cruise going out of Galveston. This is with my hosting group, Premier. My first cruise ever. I'm stoked. I know you've been on cruises before. Maybe you can earmark some time, dude, and like get out there with us, and we can start saying, the Harmony of the Seas Dice Cruise 3 with Howard Rock and Roller and John and Michael Feldman and Eric Hazel, and maybe some DGE action there too, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Get Charlie on a cruise with us? So yeah, Charlie goes, you'll go. Jen, you're gonna go anyway. Come on, you gotta come. Chris might actually be coming. A lot of people out here may actually consider going on this cruise. I think we can, maybe we can get Jacob on this cruise. Wouldn't it be great? Let's get Jacob out there on the cruise. It'd be super fun. Anyway, if you want to go, let me know. I'm working through some of the details with the Premier guys right now. So yeah. Hello to Jacob and hello to everybody. Mike from On Point Crafts is here. Good to see you too. Did El Toro make an appearance? El Toro's here. How you doing, brother? All right, let's go. Solitaire game is not running long. I was fixing microphones. That's what it was. All right, here we go. Let's jump into the day now. And what I'm going to do today is this. I want to remind you, I got a couple Fireside Craps going to drop. Along with this announcement, no shows next week. I'm going to take all next week off. I need a break from you. I love you all, but the week between Christmas and New Year's is going to be mine. I've got to do some video editing. I got to get some of the videos from Craps for the Cure peeled down. I got to get the Fireside Craps peeled down. I'm going to film a couple things, promos for the channel and that kind of stuff, some commercials. So I'm going to take a week to me, maybe even 2 weeks. I don't know. I may even take 2 weeks. We'll see. I'll probably still do the Daily Paycheck, but I won't do this show, most likely. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to be continuing along the Gambling 101 to 401 series starting in the new year, which I hope you really, really like. I hope that's a thing. And this week I'm going to previewing what that looks like. Picture these days this week, each of those being a week, maybe more in the new year. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to go backwards and talk about something we talked about yesterday, which was this idea of, and I'm glad Charlie's here too. This is a good discussion to have about this notion of going across with a higher bet, taking one hit and regressing down to your base level, or going across like a mid-sized bet, taking two hits and coming down to base level versus just going out at base level and playing. And I tried to draw it on screen yesterday, and it didn't make the most sense. It's actually I'm gonna come back to the storm, and this was the thing. And I did a spreadsheet to make it easier to understand. I did some WinCraps coding also. I'm gonna bring this over here. But there's a bug in one of them, and I didn't get a chance to really finish it. So I'm going to show you the spreadsheet. I shared this with a couple of people. I shared it with Jen and El Toro yesterday. But this is the way I looked at this, okay? And I want you to see kind of how this works, right? This is going by pure percentages. So on the right-hand side, you'll see that. And again, we're trying to get to $64. Okay, so I chose these numbers for a specific reason. One, shooter number one, or player one, is going to be 290 across. That's 220 inside, 35 on the 4 and 10. Everything pays $70. He can get to 64 across in one hit. Okay, we know, and I did test this yesterday in WinCraps. Whether it's my shooter, my throws in the garage, whether it's casino throws, whether it's the WinCraps random number generator, it's going to be between 20 and 25% loss rate to get one hit, one box hit for a shooter. That's what it is. I ran trials yesterday all day. And it's always, a couple of them were 19, some were 27. It's always in this 23-ish% loss rate. You don't get the one hit, okay? Against random, okay? Which means out of 10 shooters, which I have here, 10 shooters, you're gonna lose about 2.3 times. I actually made it 2 times on the chart here. Twice you lose your 290, okay? If you're gonna go 160 across, okay, for 2 hits, one hit, $35, second hit is $70, you're not gonna get your second hit 40% of the time. You have a 40% loss rate. So out of 10 shooters, you're gonna burn it 4 times. So twice you get nothing, twice you get 1 hit is how that works out mathematically. So the one hit and regress guy, he's gonna get 290, he's gonna get burned twice, he's gonna make it 8 times. Okay, we'll talk about what it means to make it here in a minute. The 160 across guy is gonna get burned 4 times, twice full burn, twice partial burn, and then 6 times he gets to play for free at 64 across. The last guy is at 64 across and just goes. He never regresses. He takes 4 hits, right? 4 hits, and either same bets all 4 hits, or he does like me, like a little tier pressure type of thing, takes 4 hits and he's even, okay? Which means 6 times he loses all of it. He loses $64 6 times, okay, for 384. And 4 times he gets basically nothing out of it. He's gonna just, get even and get out, and that's it. This is looking at only 4 box hits, only 4 box hits, not anything past the 4. One hit and regress, you're gonna get burned twice, you're gonna win $6 twice and then lose after that. If you same bet for the 4th one, you win 480, you're down 484. The 2-hit guy is gonna be down 502. He actually does a little worse. And the no regress guy loses 384. Less risk, less reward is what you're seeing here. And this bears out. When I ran WinCraps yesterday on this, it bears out that the one hit and regress person loses way more money, also a higher percentage of their bankroll than these 2 guys do. It just is a thing. I'm sorry that that's the case, but that's what it is. And this is, and again, I'm gonna go back to the point. Let me go back to my face over here. Let me hide that screen and go back to me. This is the point that was made yesterday in chat, and I wanna make sure that we talk about this. If you're a DI, right, and you're qualified enough, you're good enough, you've practiced enough, you're confident enough, you can get it done. This one hit over here, and if I circle it for you, this style of play over here, I'm gonna circle that. If you're a DI, potentially, this is not 23%, right? Potentially, that's 15%, right? And that's what the guys that are good, Gargoyle, Toro, George, right? They'll do more one hit and down because in their mind, in their skill set, in their whatever, they can drop from 23 to 15, religious or reliably, right? That's a huge difference. That's burning once instead of burning twice in my example, right? Or once and a half, right? That's a big difference. And that's why a controlled shooter that has some skill might approach this way. But if you're gonna go and play, you wanna play against every shooter because we say you don't wanna miss the hot roll because a random person can have a hot roll. You're gonna be down in here, right? You're gonna expect to burn your bets 6 times out of 10. You can expect 6 losses out of 10, which means you have 4 chances out of 10 to actually have a home run. And ultimately what happens here is that all of these players end up having the same 4 chances in the end. All 4 players have the same 4 chances at the end. The difference that this guy here, right? These guys are gonna burn on the way to the 4th hit. And that was what that spreadsheet was trying to show you. Let me go back to it again. I wanna re-explain one more thing here. These guys burn in here because if you think about hit 1 or hit 1 and hit 2, right? Shooter 1, box hit 0, 1, or 2, right? After your second box hit, we're looking at 2 more hits here, right? Hit number 4, they all get hit number 4, right? As their thing. This guy just at hit number 4 is at 0. These guys at hit number 4 pulled some money off the table. That's the only difference, right? After hit 4, right, on shooters 7, 8, 9, and 10, that's when quote unquote home runs can happen. That's when you're set up at 64 and can whack it. Now, I just did same bet on these things because whatever. If you same bet or if they half press, it ends up being the exact same. It's percentage wise, but that's it. Everybody gets to roll 4. This guy just gets to roll 4 times versus 6 times versus 8 times. That's the only difference, is how long you get to play for free. But the whacks are so much bigger up here that playing for free for an extra 2 or 3 shooters doesn't help you enough. Because while this guy's burning, not getting his 4th hit, you're also not getting your 3rd and 4th hit over here. That's the piece that I think was lost in my explanation yesterday. And it's probably the most important piece of the whole thing. I think that's the thing that I was, that I was kind of missing out on yesterday. Hope that makes sense, right? If this guy's not getting the 4 hits, these guys also aren't getting the 4 hits. They're getting one collection and they're out, just like everybody else, right? Ultimately speaking, play it your way. And if you think that you've got an advantage and can play up in here, if you're an advantage player and that's your thing, cool, do it, right? If you're just want to go out there and say, I trust everybody the same, they're all random to me, I don't get, no, one person is no different than another person, then play here. Play that in this world and have a little bit less at risk and take more cracks at it. I just wanted to highlight out the math of that. Not even math. It's just kind of okay, let's look at what could happen. And again, I'll show you a WinCrafts evaluation tomorrow of these in action, side by side against random, against me, and against casino throws that we've logged. And you'll see exactly the same spread of outcomes happens. Now, can you put rules on this? Right? And this came up in chat yesterday from Darksider and from Jeff both, right? Can you put rules on it? Can you say things like, well, only do this, only stick it out for 1 hit for 3 rolls. So if I get horn number, I'm done. You're not going to do it, right? That's a condition you can put on it. A lot of guys play with conditions, right? Only 3 rolls max, and then I'm done. Okay? Some people will say, whatever, if 2 shooters in a row PSO, I'm going to sit the 3rd shooter out. There's all sorts of, you can put any kind of condition you want on this thing to not play, find a reason not to play. That's up to you. It doesn't change it. It doesn't change what happens. If you take a shooter off, the next shooter still participates in the 23% loss or the 40% loss or the 60% loss. So remember that. The numbers don't change just because you're not playing. It's when you go back into the game, now you're playing again and you're still open to the numbers. And the numbers are what the numbers are. I can't change them. Maybe ADI can change the numbers. And that's, again, the reason for why we do it. The guys that practice this, that are working their asses off as being DIs, the reason why they do it is because they know this is the number. El Toro will tell you, this is the number, right? You got to get this number down. And if you can throw at all, that number goes from 23 to 15 or 10. If you can cut that in half the number of PSOs because of your shot, that's where they're making their money. That's where they're relying on this kind of a system. The rest of us that aren't DIs yet, or don't want to be, or believe in pure randomness, you have to live in the 64 across world. You have to live in the non-regression world, because regression in a random world is actually a little bit more harmful. A little more harmful. So there's that. Let's wind back and talk about the storm. The storm is brutal. I'll tell you what, I had high hopes for this one. I really did. This highlights the other fact, right? That 5 hits. It takes 5 hits to get there, right? You need $50 5 times to win 250, right? Which means that the one shooter's got to get you 5 box hits, and every time we won 11, except for 2 times, except for 2 of the wins, we got our 5 hits on the first shooter. Went out there, boom, 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 5 hits, easy squeezy, right? Twice we had a grinder win to get up to the win, right? The 6 times all had the same signature, right? Today was a perfect example. If you watched my show this morning, today we had, I think 9 shooters or 10 shooters, whatever it was, right? The first 4 or 5 were basically PSOs. It was like, 1 hit, 7, 1 hit, 7, 1 hit, 7, 7 out, right? We eked our way up to about 190 in profit, not the 250 we needed. We needed one or 2 more hits to get to the number. Well, guess what happens? You find the hole in the strategy, which is to hit the point. I had one shooter today. It was like a 21 roller, which is a good shooter, but I knocked my point off 3 times, which cost me $600. Now we fought back today. We earned 500 of those dollars back in the end, but we were there too long, right? That strategy takes too long to get it. And when you're clawing back from behind, it takes a lot to get there, and it's a rough one. It was a rough one. I really thought this strategy was going to do better than it did. I had, like I said, the highest of hopes for it, and it just didn't pan out that way. So unfortunately, it's going to be probably a tie. We have 3 more shows left on the Storm. If we get lucky and it goes, 14-6, it'll win a net of like $900. Okay, right? That's not enough to make it a go to the casino and fight war with this thing everyday strategy. This series, and I'm glad Charlie's here, right? This series is like, what strategy can win 10% every single day? Well, you cannot go 11-6 and say that's the way I'm going to make my living. You can't do it, right? This is the wrong strategy to play for that purpose, which is good for us to know, right? The reason why I do the paycheck, the reason why Jen asked yesterday, why doesn't John just play his own way, right? Like I could go out there and do my thing and probably have a better shot at the 10% every day. The reason why I don't do that is because I want to showcase strategies that purport to be the one way to play, or the 90% win rate play. I want to put them out there. Let's win 90%. Let's see a strategy do it. They got to go against me, right? They got to go against my rolls, and I'm pretty random. Like I'm decent, but I'm random. And if it's not going to survive me, then it's not worth it. And I think you got to see this. You cannot take any strategy that says it is the way to beat the casino and let it stand up to me 20 days in a row. Now, if it does, awesome. You know what I mean? That might be one to put in the cap, right? Or in the hopper for later on. So far, we haven't really found it. The 6, 7, 8's been good. The red cross has been the best one so far. It's got a very small window that it needs to win in, and it's a great strategy. So that's been the one that's been the best. But this one here, sorry, man. I thought it was going to do better, but it just isn't. The wins aren't big enough to cover the amount of loss. And I think Jen said it at the end of the last show. The win rate, the win goal is 10%. The loss limit is 50%. There's no actual loss limit on this show, right? I play that thing out usually until time, right? Until it's time for this show to go, or until I'm not having any fun. I don't really have a number loss limit on that one. I'm just playing it out until it happens, and that's it. So yeah, Jen says all strategies suck. Maybe. Right, I know there's this whole, for some reason, by the way, I don't know where the war on strategy came from, but Gargoyle and Ed and these guys are all chuckle about strategy, whatever. That's another one of these wordplay arguments I'm not going to get into. But every strategy, there's no good way to play this game, right? You got to be able to throw good, right, or catch a good roll. Let's just say you got to catch a good roll. Whether you cause that roll to happen or it happens around you, you better know how to bet the roll when it happens. That's the whole thing, right? These ways of placing and pressing your bets, that's where you make the money. Catching a good roll and playing the roll right. Everything else that we're doing, these paycheck, kind of ease into it sort of ways of playing, those things are solid if your win goals are meager like mine are, and you can get into it and get out safely, right? You shouldn't be out there 100% loss rate to win 10%. That's crazy town. Right, it's too much of a swing there, and that's why I do it this way. The reason why I'm doing this way is I want to watch strategies perform or not perform in that hour that we have, in 1 or 2 shooters that we're looking for. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, right? I want to put them to the test, right? Yeah, Waylon says 50% luck, half knowing how to bet. You got to know how to bet. Right, and here's a good example. Right, today we were up like 204 or 216. We were up whatever it was, and it's okay. We got 204 across and $50 in the dough. What do you do? Right, what's the right move there? You need one more hit to make your paycheck. What do you do in that situation? Well, what we did was knock the don't off. We hit our point. We lost $50. Okay, go back out there the next shooter with $50 and the 180. Bam! That's when we hit the point. That's when you buckshotted your point. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those decisions are tough. But when you follow it by the numbers like you're supposed to do, that shit will happen, man. That shit will happen. All right, let's move ahead. Let's go and hey, thank you, Charlie. You're the man. You are the man. I want to talk about our series. So I'm going to start this Gambling 101 series in the new year. yesterday I'm going to try and bring this all the way around to you, right? I'm going to try and bring this all the way around and talk about all the relevant things before I talk about craps. And I think we need to know as a group. And again, these are going to be, I think, more highly produced shows that I have been doing recently because I want these to last. The first week, we're going to cover this. And we did this before. And I think before you step foot in a casino, you got to know who you are, what your bankroll is, what your goals are, and how you're going to play. A lot of times, those things don't match, right? You might be a conservative guy with an enormous bankroll, okay? There's a way to play that matches that. You might be an aggressive guy with a tiny bankroll, and you cannot go out there with a tiny bankroll and be aggressive. You saw what's happened to us on our Friday Follies. $300, I go all in, we get hammered, right? You can't bet it that way. You could be a cerebral guy or a math guy, right? But if your brain, your soul, the way you want to be, doesn't match your bankroll and doesn't match your goal, like the conservative guy who has a huge bankroll and wants to hit a home run, those things don't match. You can't have all that, right? They don't compute. That's why when you're conservative, the home runs for you are a third of what they are for other people, right? So I want to get into like matching your goals to your psychology, to your bankroll, and understanding that as a play style before you walk into the house, okay? We're going to get into your head a little bit. The second week, we're going to really work on money management. I want to talk about bank accounts. I'll show you my bank accounts, how I set things up. How to track, manage your expenses and your loss and your profits. We've got tools. I made tools for you to help you manage this stuff on the website. I want to talk about funding sources, how you split revenue and loss, how you handle session bankrolls, what legitimate win goals and loss limits are based on, again, your psychology, your bankroll, what you're going to do. We'll talk about taxes. We'll talk about, in this section here, how do you handle big wins? How do you do markers? All the things that have to do with money. This might even be a 2-week series on how to handle money as a gambler. And again, all of this set up before you walk into the casino. I think this is the critical piece that people miss. And if you're going on a cruise for fun, or if you're going to Vegas for a weekend to see a show or go to the hockey game or something like that, that's different. Okay, there's things in this that'll matter, like where your money came from, how do you handle a win, that kind of thing. But if you're going to be a regular gambler, these are things you got to be thinking about. And I know that people who watch me probably think this way because we've been talking about it for so long. But a lot of people that are new don't, right? So again, setting up proper bank account structures is an important thing. Taxes are a big thing. How you handle your wins at a casino is a big thing. Getting a marker. Like somebody asked the other night, how do I get a marker? Well, my first question is, why do you want a freaking marker, right? There's reasons for why a marker might make sense for you, but we'll talk about how to get a marker. I might even bring somebody on who works in that field at the casino to tell you how markers and how they work. Because coming from my mouth is one thing, coming from a pro's or a person who does it for a living's mouth is a different thing. So we will talk about marker play. We will talk about taxes. When do you get the 401 or the what is it, the 201G, whatever the 201G, right? But yeah, whatever the tax form is, right? When do those come in? When do they come into play? When you ask for a check at the cage versus a cash at the cage, all these things matter. We'll talk about that. That'll probably be a nice 2-week segment. And again, I'm trying to lead us into the mindset of a good gambler. Things to keep you away from having an addiction problem. Things to keep you away from losing all your savings. Things to keep you safe as you go. All these things are foundational before you place one bet. Okay. Then tomorrow we'll talk about the next levels here. We're going to get into how the house works, right? What does the house always wins mean? How does house edge, odds, and probably all the math calculation? We'll do that in the third week, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. And then we're going to talk about how you win, right? What is the way that we execute at a casino? And that's going to be our series on Gambling 101. It's probably going to take a month or more to get through all that. And I think I've alluded to this. That might be the videos that lead into the chapters of a book that somebody may or may not be writing, okay? I'm going to do this, by the way, all of this will be done school style. So it's going to be a little bit of lecture like we're doing here. I'm going to have where I can do it, I will have apps available that will help you track things like I've shown you. Where possible, I will also have you with some exercises. So a little bit of homework. I got some things that you can do to practice some, W2D, thanks, Jim. My brain sometimes just kind of turns off when I'm talking. What did I say, W4? Whatever. But yeah, I want to give you all some things to work on, right? I want to give you actual spreadsheets or apps to use. I want to give you things to practice. When we get to the math, practice the math. Understand how that shit works, right? So let's go out of here. Yeah, it's right. I've been calling the phone with you for so long, I forgot totally. Let's go to the table. I want to actually play a little bit here. My glasses on. We have, what, 20 minutes to go? Crap. Here we go. We're going to go and do this. We're going to go just keep track of things. I'm going to put 2 players out here, okay? And I'm going to throw random. Now, I may break my own point, okay? Player 1 in the front is going to be at 64 across. Player in the back is going to go 290. Okay, that's going to look like 35 on the 4 and 10, okay, and 220 inside. Okay, 220 plus 70 is 290. He's one hitting down, one hit to 64 across. The guy at 64 across is going to play tier pressure. Okay, he's going to need 3 or 4 hits to get out of the hand. Okay, and they're both going to get to 64 bucks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to track somewhere. I'll do it in the come. I'll track in the come how many times we can do it. Okay, I expect this guy to burn twice. Right, I expect this guy to burn 6 times. We can have a phantom player of 164 across on the inside, but I'm not going to put their bets out there. Here we go. Let's get the puck off. Let's come out. Let's just run this. And only thing I care about is how many times we get to our goal weight of 64 bucks. And trust the dice. I'm zoomed in here so you can see the bets bigger. Trust me on the rolls. I'm not going to cheat the rolls. I have no reason to do that. There's a 4. Okay, the point's going to be finally a 4. And here we go. Okay, again, needs 3 to 4 hits, needs 1 hit, and he's playing 64 bucks. And I'm just going to same bet him. I'm not going to go pressing or anything else. I'm just going to do a same bet. And here's a 4-3-7 right out of the gate. Okay, so first time through, I'll put a black chip out here. We have a loss, a complete loss. I'll leave the bets up. I'm just counting losses and wins. I will put profits into the rack in case we do catch a good roll, but this is not about that. Here we go. Coming out. It's an 8. It's a 9. 6, 3, 9. So again, 1 hit needed here. 3 to 4 hits needed here. And we have a 6. Cool. So this guy here gets it done. He gets paid 70 bucks. Okay. He's going to go 64 across, which means he gets 4 bucks to go 64 across. Okay. We'll take this back to the house. Now, what I'm going to do here is this. We're going to leave his bets up, but he's got 64 across. I'll put his money in the front here. Actually, you know what? I'll pull the bets back. I'm just going to leave him here so I don't got to keep dinking with him. But let's get him out 64 across. We'll just swap his bets out. And again, I'm just going to same bet him while the other guy's playing. Okay. There's the 6. So in his 6, that wins 14 bucks. Okay. And you know what I do on a $14 6 is this. I always go $14 6. I'll take $1 back to the rack, and we're going to make it a quarter. I like the quarter 6. It pays 30 for 1. We'll put his money over here. Can you see that? Maybe I should put it there. Is that better? No, it's not. Where's a better way to put it? Right there? Is that better? There we go. I'll put it here. Then you can see there are 2 racks. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to put like this. They both got burned there. The guy in the back made it this time. We'll check the burns and the wins. That's how we'll do it. There's the 7, a 5, 2, 7. All right, that's a bummer, right? So this here is a loss. I'm going to put his money back out. So the 64 across player has burned twice, whereas the other guy has burned once and made it once. I'm going to swap his bets out. He's back at 290. His $64 just sitting back here. I'll move the bets up when it's time. Here we go. Ugly set of rolls, but that's normal. 3, 1, 4. 4 is that point. Here we go. We got a 6, 3, 3, 6. That's great. So the guy in the back, of course, he's going to make it twice. That's super cool. Let's put his bets back to $64. And he gets his $4. So far, he's won $4. Okay, the guy in the front, that 6 is going to turn him into a quarter on the 6 with a $1 change. And here we go. There's aces. Aces does nothing. Hopefully I can get enough. Oh, there's a point made. Nice. Be nice to get a, we're going to do 20 for 2. Again, I'm going to same bet these guys. And that's it. I'm just going to same bet him. There's no point otherwise. Also, he'll get paid 18 bucks. It's a full press. He goes to a quarter. Get some change. He's got his 2 hits. He's looking for a repeater or 4 hits. Okay, puck is off. Goes to the 9. There's a 4. So player in the front is going to be in great shape. He's going to make 50 bucks back here. Up front, 50 bucks. And he's going to come down back to $64. So I'm going to take a quarter. There's $12 back, $3 change, and he's out of the hand with profit, which is pretty cool, right? We love that strategy because you get out of the hand and you bring money back. He's good, and now they're just going to same bet their way to the end. They're both in the same spot. They both just get the same bet until the 7 comes. Okay, we could actually just not care and ignore it, but there's a 9. We'll do 15 for 1 here. The reason why this is kind of important, again, it's not about the betting strategy, 15 for 1. It's about longevity. Okay, the guy in the back got to 64 across 2 rolls before the other guy did. Potentially has more cracks at it. There's a 9, 15 for 1 here, and 15 for 1 here. That's the point. My phone is blowing up over here. Why is my phone blowing up? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Who's calling me? All right, here we go. 9's the point. I'm looking for a 7 here because I want to be out of this. I want to be out of this quick. We'll do 20 for 2 again. I'm out of reds over here. I'm not out of reds, but we'll do 20 for 2 for both players. And I will take some of these reds out of here just because. There's 50. There's 50. All right. There's the 7. Okay, so we 7 out. We'll start it over. Let's go ahead and replace the bets. All right, he's back at 290. He's back at 64. This is shooter number 4. Rocks a point at 10. You get an 8. All right, so guy in the back is great. He's going to get $4 in change. I'll put his whites over here. And he's going to be back at 64 across. So he makes it again, which is great for him. Awesome sauce. Okay, 64 across, $4 change. Money back in the rack, and he's going. This guy over here, what was the roll? Was it a 6? I don't even know what it was a 6, yeah. He's going to make that 6 look like, I think it was a 6. It doesn't matter, really. 25 with a $1 change. And let's go. 8, all right. That's an 8. That's fantastic. He's going to go to $25 with a $1 change. The other guy's going to go 15 for 1. Again, he's playing 64 across earlier than this guy is. I'm only going to same bet them because, again, this is a longevity. This is a 527. So it's a test of longevity, okay? he burns. He got 2 hits. He needed 3 to 4 hits. He didn't get it. We're going to set his bets back up again. And he burns. So he's got 1 time to work, 4 times or 3 times it didn't work. Again, I expect him to only get it to work 4 times out of 10. Here we go. Let's put the other guy's bets back. We got a 7 on the come out. Good time for it. We got a 6. All right, here we go. One hit wonder. We got it. 415. Booyah. So again, I'll mark him up. He hits it. That's great. He gets to 64 across. With his $4 and change. Good for him. This guy over here, again, makes his 5 look like a quarter. He has to drop $1 to do that. And he's pressed. That's his first hit. And we got a 6. That's the point. So he will make 14 bucks. We'll do 15 for 1. Guy in the front is going to press that 6 to a quarter. The dollar change. The puck comes off. 6 again. All right, back to it. Let's go. Let's beat the 7. There's a 9. 5, 4, 9. We'll drop $1. Go to a quarter. Again, tier pressure. It's 3 presses. Looking for a repeater or the magical. Here's the miracle roll. This is the fourth number we need to get out of here. Right there's the 4. He gets it. So this guy here now has survived twice. Right, just 2 times. Burned 3 times, which is kind of cool. He goes back to 64 across. Right, so we'll do 50. 65, and he's going to bring back whatever this is, 25, 45, $47 back. So he's back playing, gets it done. Oh yeah, my family is driving me nuts over here. I love you guys, but stop already. What is happening? All right, there's the 8. There is the 8. That is 14 bucks. We'll do 15 for 1 for both guys. We're just gonna ride this out, and we'll see how much money came off the table for both players as we go. There's the 7. All right, that's cool. Rolls over. Both guys were safe, which is cool. Back to 290. Puck is off. Shooter number 6. I'm not gonna have time to get 10 shooters in. Probably. I thought I could, but we'll see. Point is going to be 6. Here's the 1 shot. We avoid a PSO. We do avoid a PSO. It's an 8. That's awesome. This guy's doing great up here, right? He's gotten 5. Right. He should win 8 times. Right. We should only burn twice. So he's doing awesome. He's out. Right. He makes his 1 hit and down. Perfect. That's awesome. Sweet. This guy here is going to go to a quarter for $1 change, and he needs to get work done. Oh, he gets his $4 back. Let's give him 5 for 1. I'm also going to take his quarters out, or his nickels out. There we go. Booyah. 7 out. Oh boy, that was a horrible throw. All right, well there it is. He burns again. Doesn't get it done. He gets 1 hit and he's out, right? Here's the case where this guy gets 1 hit, gets to be safe, and nothing happens. This guy here just burns 64 bucks, right? But even though he's safe, right, this guy doesn't make any money at all until that guy makes money. Really, that's kind of how that works out. Here we go. Put the 290 back out there again. All right. 9 is the point. Let's get our 1 hit. Let's get our 1 hit. 5, we did it again. Did it again. The regressor succeeds again. That's awesome. Again, I'm just going to move his bets back where they go. He's at 64 across for $4 in profit, and he's set. All right, or $6 in profit. All right, here we go. Guy in the front hit a 5. It goes to a quarter. I think I've done that wrong every time. I think it's supposed to be, it's for $1. It's supposed to be $6, not. I'm giving him $4, not 6. I've screwed him out of like, I owe him like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I owe him $12. I'll fix that. There's the 7. So look at that. We get 1 hit and out, 2 shooters in a row, right? 1 hit and out. So again, we burn in the front after only getting 1 hit, which is super hella frustrating, right? There's the 7. Here we go. Back to 290 across. Again, I'm doing this with the bets back here just to keep it easy for me. 5. 5, 4, 1. All righty. 4, 1, 5. Let's do it. Let's get our. We got an 8. We did it again. Survived again. That's awesome. 1 hitting down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters. Okay, so 1 hitting down. It's 8 shooters. He's going to be back. That's there. That's there. Okay, he's going to get paid now $6. Not. He's 64 across for $6, and I also owe him 12. So I'm going to take 3 whites and give him 15. I owe him 12 from being a dumbass before, and there's his greens. Okay, this will all make sense in a minute. I promise you. I promise you. Here we go. Can the guy in the front do any damn thing? Come on, let's go. He goes to a quarter. He gets a buck change. Let's freaking go. 8. Woo. Okay. Gets 15 for 1. That pays $24. And you cannot have a buckshot make this work, right? You can't just go from here and back down because it's $54. If I just go back to $12, we're only up 34. It's not enough to cover our bets. He has to still get the 3 hits, but he's at 54. If we get another 8, he'll be in great shape. All right, here we go. 6. All righty, 6 goes to a quarter with $1 change for this guy. 15 for 1 back here. Ace, deuce, nobody cares. 7 out. So once again, this guy gets 2 hits and he burns like hellfire and goes away. I'll mark that as a loss here in a second. That's a loss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more shooters. We can do this 2 more times. Hopefully I have enough people who care about this, what I'm doing here. But this is actually, I think, super interesting. To me, this is the kind of shit I do when you're not around. This is what I do when I'm working, when I'm supposed to be working. I like these kind of trials because it gives you a good visual on how it really is. Okay, there's a 5 as the point. Windcrafts is one thing, but you got to see it sometime. You got to roll 10 shooters out to see what it actually means. All right, here's the aces, which is nothing. An 8. Did it again. Awesome. The one hitting down guy's doing great. Doing great. He makes it again. I'm gonna again exchange. He's at 64 across. Good for him with $6 and change. Okay. Play in the front on the 8. Again, it goes to a quarter with $1 change. That's his first hit. Let's go. Let's make magic happen. Oh my God, another one. We're getting one-hit wonders all the time, right? There it is. There's another loss for him. That's shooter number 9, by the way. He's only made it 1 time or 2 times. That's terrible, right? He's behind. He should have made it 4 times. He only made it twice. So he's actually worse off than he ought to be. Just cannot seem to get any traction here at all today, right? Here we go. Last shooter. Shooter number 10. Quick little trial. There's a 4, 4, 8. 4, 4, hard 8. Here we go. It's a 6. So the one hitting down, that's a 6, not a 10. The one hitting down guy makes it, right? That's awesome for him. Good job. Good job today on the shooters, right? He's going to get, again, 64 across. He's going to get $6 and change. 5, $6 and change. This guy here, again, it's going to go to a quarter for a dollar change. Let's make it happen. Come on. I need to mark him up. He got a green or a white chip. There's a 6. There's a 6. So again, it pays $29 up front. He's got to stack that. This guy back here is going to get 15 for 1. A 6 again. So he gets the repeater at 54, which is fantastic, right? They pay $63, and now he can go to 64 across. 63. There's his $64. Okay, so he can go 64 across and bring everything else back down. I'll fix that up in a minute for him. But now he's playing. Finally, he got 3 out of 10. He's risk free. Here we go. We're gonna same bet it all. I'm gonna put all this mess back here. We're done with his 290 play. That was shooter number 10. Here we go. How long can we get this roll to go? And again, we're just gonna same bet them. And there's a reason for why I'm same betting. I'll explain in a minute. There's 5. That'll be 15 for 1 for both players. I'm gonna need to change out my reds here for some greens. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. He gets $100. This guy in the front is gonna get how many does he have? He has 1, 2, 3, $75. All right, 75 for him. All right, here we go. Let's play it to the 7. This is the last shooter. There's an 8 again. And again, this is a test of longevity. 15 for 1. 15 for 1. Because they're both going to get the same number of hits now, right? Whether they press, play, whatever, it doesn't matter. If they're both pressing the same way, then it wouldn't matter, right? It's a matter of opportunity. 15 for 1. And he'll actually loan his neighbor $1. I'll get him some whites now. All right. Now I kind of want to see a 7 so I can do the quick math. 6. All right. We'll do it again. 15 for 1. 15 for 1. The mad scientist at work here, right? 5, 6, yo. 3, 2, 5. 15 for $1. 15 for this is the monster roll you're waiting for. This is what they're both playing for this roll right here, right? There's another 5, right? You're pressing the crap out of this. They're both making a bunch of money. 15 for 1. But again, I'm going to same bet it just because you got to see the actual impact of the number of hits. Look at that. Is that like 4 or 5s in a row? You got to see the impact of the number of hits versus the way that you're playing it. The way that you play it is less meaningful than how much the strategy brought back on its own hit count wise. I think it's an important distinction for us to make. There's a 75 in red for him. I'm going to keep on getting the check change going here because the bank needs the reds because everything is paying $15, right? 5, 10. There's 75 for him. All right. I want to now I'm kind of like, give me a 7 so I can get out of here. There's an 8. They're both going to get paid $15 for $1. 9. The magic run that we're on. 15 for, I'm going to let the other guy pay the other guy's tax. The dollar come at his whites till we're out of whites. Another 8. Okay, that was the point actually, right? This is now the new point. Sorry. 4. Okay, that's going to pay 20 for 2 for both guys. 3 craps 3. What a great run we're on, huh? 7 out. There's the 7. Okay, so all this goes away. Now here's the thing that we're going to look at. And again, how you press for each player, up to you, right? The player in the back who got there earlier all these times could have been more aggressive with his pressing, for sure, okay? But let's take a look at what happened here. And I took all the money off the felt on purpose. Okay, there's 325, 350 bucks. There's the 50. Okay, there's 350, 365 bucks. Okay, he lost 290. So his net of all that is $50, $75 net. Okay, that's an important thing. Okay, his net was 75 bucks. I'll put his money back here, actually in the rack, $75. Brought back all those same bets, right? Cost him this one loss to get that win right there. The guy in the front who was doing 64 across the entire time, and again, just same betting the wins, same way. There's 50, 75 bucks. Let's put this over here. There's 100, 200, 300, 425. Okay, 425, let's put that up there, 425 off the table. Again, he takes more money off the table because the way he plays to get to the fourth hit is a little more aggressive, but he lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 64. 7 times 6 is how much, guys? 7 times 6 is 420, right? Plus 4 times 6 is 24, so it's 444 that he loses, right? His net here, 425, so he's down 435, he's down $19, right? $19 upside down. That's the difference here, okay? $19 upside down versus up 75 bucks for that massive risk. Now, if we get, we're so close to what you expect here, right? You're one away, right? This guy gets one more where it's white. This is profit, not a loss. If this guy gets one more loss, he's upside down 200 bucks. Imagine that. Imagine if that was a loss. Just, I'll put it up here. If this was a loss, that would be 290 twice, right? He's got $75 here. He'd be down another 115 bucks, or he'd be down 215. If we had one more PSO, he's down 215, right? That shift of one is massive, right? I mean, I'm going to do that again. There's 215 bucks here. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is pretty cool, actually, right? He's either up 75 because he only got one bad result out of 10, or he could be down 215 if he had 2 bad results out of 10. Now, the guys that are learning how to be throwers, the guys that are throwers, Toro, Gargoyle, Ed, George, the rest of them, Joe, if you can do this more often, get it down to 1 loss out of 10 instead of 2 losses out of 10, that's the impact. It's minus 215 to plus 75. That's a huge difference, and that's why. There's the evidence of why that you throw. The other guy here, 1, 2, 3, he goes upside down one extra time, right? That if one of these is white instead of, let's do it down here. If one of those is white instead of black, right? He's going to be $64 over this plus, it's about 25 or 30 bucks every time he pulls the move off, right? He's up probably 30 or 40 bucks if he just gets one to flip. So the impact of one variation out of the 10 you expect is a big deal, really big deal. And you can see, like I said, this guy here, if he goes upside down one more time, he's in a world of hurt. So that's just a 10 shooter look in real time. And it takes a while to get through that. So I'm sorry if that was boring, but I look at that as like, that's kind of, that's what WinCraps does. It rolls random numbers, you bet the things, it does the deal, and you can see kind of what happens, right? And I think that live rollout is pretty accurate, right? You play 64 across in a casino, feels like that's what happens to you, right? A couple of times you get through, one time you have a nice little roll at the end, the rest of the time you get burned by somebody who goes one hit and out. And that kind of sucks, right? So there it is. There's a, let me go back over here again. There is an example, again, in real time, 10 shooters of how that looks. Okay, I'll give you a WinCraps thing tomorrow where I do that same thing for 1,000 shooters. So you can see what it looks like over the course of massive time, how those things start to come back, right? There you had a 10% burn rate instead of a 20% burn rate. big difference. When it goes to 15, 16, 20, 25%, you'll see that those two players end up being really close together most of the time, but the lower player that goes out at 64 loses a lot less money overall because the impact of that, those losses are massive. So let me check for questions. Let's see. I love Charlie. You got to be here more often, right? What is life? Craps in the pursuit of getting paid. Isn't coffee and craps like taking and answering questions? For sure. I want to get more Q&A time in here. I'll often have things I got to get off my chest like today, but yeah, for sure. Minus the bravado is a big question. Can the strategy that works be taught clearly to everyone? The system is too massive, then it's not viable. That's what you're running into. I'm agreeing with you, and I would think this. Let me go back to my table again. All this strategy talk to me. And again, I don't know why people are so negative on the word strategy. It's for some reason it's become this like pejorative. I can't figure out why. It all comes down to what are you going to do with your bets, right? That's the entirety of all this. And I think to me, it's either you're gonna do what you do, Charlie, and wait around for the condition that you want, and then you're gonna jump in and make it happen. If you're just gonna experience every roll with money out there, then you better know how to bet the roll that you get, right? And keep it simple, stupid. If it's a single unit press, if it's going to be, a $10 nine that pays 15 or 14 bucks, right? And you're going to go one unit and collect one extra red there, right? And you're going to go $21. Great. Okay. Super. One unit. And that's your thing. One unit press. Cool. That's a strategy. People might call that a betting plan. I think Toro calls it a betting plan. Your strategy is defined as, I'm going to bet 64 across and I'm going to single press every number. That's a strategy. Strategy is, where's my money and how am I handling my wins? That's all strategy is. How do I handle wins? How do I handle losses? Where'd my money go? Everything else is variations from that. That's totally fine. Keep it simple. Like I want to be able to, honest to God, I want to be able to go to the bathroom. And I've done this at my casino. Leave and go to the bathroom, and the dealers will do it for you. My local will do it. Go to the bathroom and you say, "Can you just single press me while I'm gone?" And they know, or half press me while I'm gone. That's totally fine, right? That's like, keeping it simple is where it's at. Let's see what's here. EduFit says, "I'm not playing the Storm." You're not playing it. Yeah, I agree. I think that's one that I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go much longer with it for sure. Let's see. PC and Wayland have been playing the DC Pony along with the Storm and winning. The DC Pony is good. The problem is, my worry with the DC Pony, honestly, is that we're not funded well enough. I like the strategy. I don't know that $2,500 is enough to play it. I'm worried that that's going to be, if we get a bad situation, that we're going to be in a bad ladder. So, and the way that I'm throwing repeaters right now, I worry about that DC bet getting picked. I do. The come bets aren't high enough to make money on the repeats. The DC bet's really high, and I think that I've been throwing a lot of repeat numbers, and I don't want to pick myself off. So we'll see. We'll give it a week to give it a shot and see how it feels. All right. The profit has to supersede a future PSO for sure. For the regressor, you got to get enough in a rack to cover the PSO the next time. I agree with you, right? And again, I same betted it just to show you number of hits, number of money coming back. That's all that was to show. If you were going to single press those bets, you may have had a different result. Less money coming back initially, more money left on the table. There's so many ways to have played that out, right? I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can just to give a visual on what does it look like to win or lose 9 times? And if your wins don't make it, and again, every time, go back to that table again. I think I got it. There. Every time this guy here, the first guy burns, every black chip means what? Every time the guy playing 64 across burns, it means we didn't get 4 hits, which means even though this one, that one, that one, and that one, all of those for the guy that did the regression, all of those only got 1 or 2 more hits. In most cases, it got 1 more hit. So even though you were playing safe, for free, I mean, there was 0 profit to be had. Whenever there's a black up here, there's no profit back there. There's only potential profit when both players make it because that's the fourth hit. These are the fourth hit. Those are hits 1, 2, and 3 and out. All 6 of those, the guy in the back got 1 hit. Okay, and I want you to really think about that. Okay, the guy in the back only gets 1 hit when the guy in the front burns his $64, which means if he pressed it, he brought back $0. If we same bet it like I did, at least he brought back $14, right? That's what I was trying to show in the spreadsheet. Whenever the 64 across guy burns his money, doesn't get his fourth hit, the other guy also makes no money because he burned the $64 that he's playing with. He got nothing off the table. If he pressed it, there's nothing coming back. That's an important thing to see in the comparison, right? Only 2 times did both players get to roll 4 at the same time. And then you have opportunity. That last roll is a good example of that, right? Every other time, the guy that did 1 hit and down made $0. He got out of it, but he made $0. And you can't get to where you're saying, Ryan, you cannot get to collecting enough money in the roll to pay for the next PSO, because if you only get 1 hit or 2 hits before that 7, like happened here 5 times, it's impossible to do. That's why this is so freaking hard. And that's what I'm trying to make people understand. It's very, very, very important. Today, if we did it with 2 hits, right? Most of those black chips today were 2 hits, right? There was 3 or 4 of those times where it was the second hit, right? We had to point 1 number and then a 7. That happened like 4 times today. That guy with 160 across would have burned the most. And again, remember that whenever the guy at 64 across doesn't get the 4th hit, the other guys also make no money. So although you played for free, you made no money. There's 0 there. It's like you weren't even at the casino. Okay, remember that. That's the takeaway from here. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot of motion to get there, but that's the deal. All right, and that's it. That's my final thought. Is this: you got to play it out. If you think it's going to be a thing, play it out. I think the same bet comparison is a valid one. You could certainly be more aggressive and skew the numbers, right? It's good to just see how many hits did I actually get. And it's good to do for 10 shooters. And you know the numbers. You can see how many you expect to get out of, whatever, 20% burn rate, whatever the burn rate is, right? Whatever that burn rate's going to be, you should see it in 10 shooters. If I go to 20 shooters, I guarantee you, if we played 10 more shooters, you would see 4 losses on the big guy, right? That 20% number comes back the longer you play. So anyway, there it is, guys. That's my final thoughts. Y'all have a good, what is it, Tuesday? Have a good Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow for, we have 3 days of the storm left. Let's hope that the storm can rally and get me some easy money the next 3 days in a row. That'd be nice to have easy money for 3 days and get to it. I want to get to $1,000 in profit. That's my goal now. Can I get the storm to make $1,000? That would be fantastic. And with that said, God bless all of you guys, and I'll see you in the morning. Have a good day. Bye.